Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
It's Friday, you bastards. And then take a photo of it. And then tweet it to Anthony Weiner. All right, America. All right. Oh, God, what a bizarro world we live in, bizarro world. So I'm sure you've heard the news. Donald Trump is, he's excited. He's, beyond belief. He's thanking everybody for, helping him.
I need to open with a very critical breaking news announcement.
Breaking news, everybody. Break it. Break the news.
The FBI
Yep. Yay, FBI!
has just sent a letter to Congress informing them that they have discovered new emails pertaining to the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's investigation.
Lock her up.
And they are reopening the case into her criminal and illegal conduct that threatens the security of the United States of America.
Shouldn't you say alleged? Shouldn't you say that? You're going to wish you said that. You are.
Hillary Clinton's corruption is on a scale we have never seen before.
Unless we look at you and your foundation.
We must not let her take her criminal scheme into the Oval Office.
What is her criminal scheme? What is she scheming
I
to
have
do?
great respect for the fact that the FBI and the Department of Justice are now willing to have the courage to right the horrible mistake that they made.
Oh, my God.
This was a grave miscarriage of justice that the American people fully understood. And it is everybody's hope that it is about to be corrected.
And now all of a sudden he digs at James Comey. He likes him some James Comey. He hated James Comey. The DOJ was rigged. The Department of Justice was rigged. Loretta Lynch was rigged. Everything about this was rigged. So now Donald Trump, reads a brief. This is why Donald Trump cannot be president or should not be president and never will be president, is because he gets what we all get on our text messages, what we all get on our phone. He gets like a breaking news alert from CNN. And he doesn't spend 2 seconds looking into it. He doesn't spend a second and a half understanding it. He doesn't, withhold his opinion, his activities, nothing. He just gets up there, because this was 10 minutes after everybody got the breaking news alert, right? That James Comey put out some cryptic 3-paragraph letter. And, just let me say on the outset, I trust James Comey. Just so you know. When Donald Trump was trashing James Comey and saying James Comey was in the pocket of the Clintons and James Comey was a rigged person and the Department of Justice was rigged and that, everything about America, because he's the blame America first guy. When he was saying all that crap about Comey, who is a Republican, by the way, you see, for me, party, not so much. Person, yes, to a person, I have an opinion. And I thought the world of James Comey's straight shooting, investigative ability. I liked James Comey. I still like James Comey. I trust James Comey. Okay, I do. So that said, Donald Trump did not trust James Comey. He did not think James Comey was a straight shooter. He condemned James Comey. He said the whole Department of Justice, the entire U.S. Department of Justice was corrupt. It was rigged. It was a bad place. It was a place you couldn't put your trust or confidence in. Just denigrating America, denigrating James Comey, denigrating the entire Justice Department, denigrating Loretta Lynch, denigrating the Obama administration. Everybody was just, the whole thing was rigged against him. Everything was rigged against him. On the other hand, today, because James Comey sent a letter to Congress, who, by the way, is not in session, why bother? Really, why bother? But James Comey sent this letter. I will read it to you. He sent it to the chairman of the Committee on Intelligence, the Judiciary, to the Subcommittee on Commerce, Justice, Science. Do we even have a science committee? No, it's a subcommittee. Oh, that's right. It's a sub. Yeah, it's a sub of the appropriations, which means you'll never get anything out of, this Republican appropriation. They pay for stuff, appropriations. They actually pay for things. And science is a sub. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Dominated by appropriations and will never get a penny. And then governmental affairs and intelligence and judiciary and related agencies to just everywhere. He sent this. Dear Messrs. Chairman, in previous congressional testimony, I referred to the fact that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, for you moron Tea Party people, that's what he put. He put it in parentheses. It's not me. Had completed its investigation of former Secretary Clinton's personal email server. Due to recent developments, I am writing to supplement my previous testimony. Remember he testified? Yeah. In connection with an unrelated case, the FBI learned of the existence of emails that appear to be pertinent to the investigation. I am writing to inform you that the investigative team briefed me on this yesterday, and I agreed that the FBI should take appropriate investigative steps designed to allow investigators to review these emails to determine whether they contain classified information, as well as assess their importance to our investigation. Although the FBI cannot yet assess whether or not this material may be significant, and I can't predict how long it will take us to complete this additional work, I believe it is important to update your committees about our efforts in light of my previous testimony. That's it. That's what he put out there. And these 3 paragraphs sent Donald Trump screaming to the podium, corrupt Hillary Clinton is about to be brought down. He's reopening the case into her email. Okay, can we please review and let it not be in my voice, okay? Let it be in the voice of a serious journalist, okay? How's that? Would that work for you trolls? I think so.
Well, Brooke, at this point, we don't know exactly what these emails were. We don't know who sent them. We know right now that they were not sent by Hillary Clinton. And we know that these were emails that were not in the possession of the FBI. In other words, it was not on anything that they had previously examined as part of this year-long investigation into the Clinton email server. We do know, according to officials that we've been talking to, that it was these emails were found on a device that the FBI didn't have in its possession during that year-long investigation. In other words, it was on a device that they hadn't previously examined and that has now come into their possession as part of an unrelated investigation. That investigation, what that is, we still don't know. We know that it's not related to the WikiLeaks investigation. It's not related to the Clinton Foundation. That much we know. But again, there's still a lot of questions here. The FBI director sending this 3-paragraph letter to members of Congress, really just updating them because he had previously testified before Congress. And the 3 paragraphs now, everybody's trying to parse exactly what he says, but really he says, in connection with an unrelated case, the FBI has learned of the existence of emails that appear to be pertinent to this investigation. It's important to add here that Comey is not saying that he knows that this material is significant. He says, we don't know yet the significance of this, but it is important enough for the investigative team, the team from the FBI's counterintelligence division, to take another look and see whether or not this affects the outcome that Comey had announced back in July, saying that he was recommending no charges against Hillary Clinton. Of course, 11 days, Brooke, before this election. This is not something that the FBI had anticipated. They did not. Comey had, precisely. This is the thing that he was trying to avoid by trying to wrap up that investigation back in July to make sure that the voters had the information before they started casting ballots. And of course, now there are over 10 million people who've already cast ballots with this new information now coming out from the FBI.
Okay, so that was the first reporting. Okay, that was Evan Perez, CNN, reporting. And the very first bits of information that came out of the Justice Department were, this is not related to WikiLeaks. This is not related to any email that Hillary Clinton received or sent. And wasn't that investigation about whether or not Hillary Clinton lied to the FBI when she said she did not receive or send classified information? And wasn't this investigation about whether or not she was receiving and sending classified information on her private server? That is not what this is about, nor is it about the Clinton Foundation. Okay? This much we already know. So we wait a little bit, we reserve comment, and we begin to get new alerts on our devices, and the New York Times begins to report what they are learning about this unrelated case that the Justice Department is investigating. And again, we go to Evan Perez of CNN.
Right, exactly. These are devices that they did not have in their possession when they were doing these, this investigation. If you remember, they took a look at dozens of devices, Blackberries, as well as computers, servers that they had previously taken a look at as part of this investigation for a year. They did not have this device that they found these emails. They did not have that in their possession until they began doing this Anthony Weiner investigation, which we previously reported is now ongoing. We don't know exactly what these emails were. We do know that they were not sent by Hillary Clinton. We don't know exactly if it was Huma Abedin that sent the emails or whether she was the recipient of these emails. But obviously, this is something that was now viewed to be pertinent to the investigation. That's why the FBI is taking a new look.
Got it. So the FBI's unrelated case that he's referring to in this 3-paragraph cryptic email, I will say, James Comey, who I like, again, I think he's a man of integrity. He's a Republican man. He served in the Bush administration. He has since become the director of the FBI. He was the deputy attorney general under John Ashcroft, which has got to be a really horrible place to toil under John Ashcroft. But he did it. And he saved us from having a drug-addled man who was having surgery sign off on warrantless wiretapping while under the influence of surgery drugs. So that's how I first, got to know James Comey's integrity. Then he goes on and he becomes the head of the FBI in the Obama administration because Obama isn't partisan either. So, therefore, when James Comey puts out this letter, you just wait for a minute. You just wait and you read unrelated case. All right, what are we talking about? So I started Googling, what is the FBI investigating? What are the current open FBI investigations? And naturally, one of them is Anthony Weiner's sexting case. Now, why are they investigating sexting? Because Anthony Weiner apparently sent some of those dick pics to a 15-year-old girl in North Carolina. I don't know if it's specifically the picture of the panties with the log in it, and that is really quite an accomplishment for a Jew, gotta say. I never saw anything quite like that, on a wiener. But funny name, kind of apropos. Very proud of it. Texts it everywhere. So they decided that they were going to look into Anthony Weiner's sexting only because it came to the FBI's knowledge, or it became suggested that he may have been texting to underage girls, which would be vile and gross and no better than the case that Donald Trump will have to answer to on December 16th in New York City. Okay? Just a horrendous charge. Really, really bad. And so that's what the FBI was investigating. Now, they collected the devices from Anthony Weiner and his then wife, since separated, and right-hand person to Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, who the right wing has called every name in the book. Every name in the book. So anyway, they have these two new devices, and they're looking through these devices, and we don't know what they found on these devices, but we do know whatever they found on these devices wasn't any email that Hillary Clinton sent, wasn't any email that Hillary Clinton received. And so therefore, you can continue to support Hillary Clinton as president of the United States, okay? Because it's nothing she sent and it's nothing she received. Period. End of story. But they are salivating. You know, Paul Ryan today actually got up on a stage and said that Hillary Clinton needs to be barred from classified briefings. Really? Hillary Clinton needs to be barred?
Give him fake briefings.
What does that even mean?
It means they'll tell him stuff. He won't know the difference.
That was Harry Reid saying to give Donald Trump fake briefings because just tell him stuff. He won't know the difference because...
It's obvious he can't control his mind or his tongue.
Oh, God. So, therefore, what we have here is nothing. Okay, that's what we have, a big nothing burger. And it was, you know, it was scary when this story first broke without any detail. And I will say, James Comey, as much as I, have faith in the fact that he's in charge of the FBI, I have faith in the fact that, he's... the Justice Department. I don't have a problem with James Comey simply because he's a Republican. It isn't the way I operate. It isn't the way I work. It has nothing to do with party affiliation for me. It has to do with when you show me who you are, I believe you. And James Comey showed me who he was back when Bush was president, and I believed that he had integrity, and I still do. So, therefore, I would say that it is incumbent and imperative on this Friday afternoon, as early voting in many states is already underway, and because James Comey sought to get as much information out to the American people in a timely manner, which is why we got the press briefing in July saying that he did not think that this case was a case to be prosecuted, that he didn't think that there was criminal activity, there was no intent to violate any classified laws, there was no intent to do anything, ugly, evil, or that would jeopardize the security of the United States. So he was recommending no charges. He did that in July only because it was an election year and only because he believed the American people deserved to know all the information they could before they cast their first ballot. And so now I believe James Comey needs to expand and elaborate on this 3-paragraph memo that he drops on a Friday afternoon as early voting is underway, because this memo is doing exactly what James Comey sought to avoid. It's creating a cloud over a candidate when, of course, we've already found out that it's to do with nothing she sent or received on her private server. So splain, James. I am so excited to announce that ITM Trading is back to sponsor our new show. ITM Trading is a precious metals company that was a very loyal sponsor of mine for years and years, and our reunion couldn't have happened at a better time. 2016's been great for me and for gold. Did you know that gold outperformed the Dow this year by over 3 times? Since January, the Dow Jones is up 8% and gold is up over 26%. Some of the wealthiest and most powerful people in the country are diversifying huge sums of money into gold because they know diversification is the key. And maybe it's time for you to get diversified too. It's time to talk to my friends at ITM Trading about gold and how it can help you. Call them at 1-888-OWN-GOLD. They've been in business for over 20 years. They have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau.
You're a
and
genius.
If you'd like to know how to diversify with gold, call ITM Trading at 1-888-OWN-GOLD and ask for a free gold kit. 1-888-OWN-GOLD. 1-888-OWN-GOLD.
I'm Rick Smith, and this is Labor History in 2. On this day in labor history, the year was 1861. That was the day that the Pony Express made its last run and passed
If you'd like
into
to know
legend.
how
the
to
mail
diversify-
delivery service had lasted only a year and a half until it folded under competition from the newly completed Transcontinental Telegraph. The idea for a faster Western mail delivery service came from the owners of the wagon freight company, Russell, Majors, and Waddell. At the time, the railroad terminated in St. Joseph, Missouri. The goal of the Pony Express route was to cover the 2,000-mile route from St. Joe to San Francisco in 10 days, or half the time of competitors. Riders would travel between one station and another on horseback, switching horses as they went. For this arduous job, the company targeted young men, sometimes in their teens. The goal was to hire small men to keep the weight low for the horses. The riders had to sign a pledge not to drink, gamble, fight, or swear. To back up the clean living, they were each issued a Bible. Riders were paid a minimum of $50 per month in addition to room and board. The riders faced many hazards from bad weather to thieves. They often traveled across lands in dispute between the U.S. government and Native Americans, adding to the potential danger. The fastest express delivery ever was Lincoln's inaugural address, which made it to California in under 8 days. Perhaps the most famous person who claimed to be a Pony Express rider was Buffalo Bill Cody, although it's unlikely he ever carried the mail. He incorporated the Pony Express into his Wild West show, turning the mail service into the stuff of legend. Labor History in 2 brought to you by the Illinois Labor History Society and The Rick Smith Show. For more information, go to laborhistoryin2.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on the Twitters at Labor History in 2.
We did it, you bastards! We're live! And it only took 2 years! Okay. All right. So we're back, we're live, and you're there, and we're here, and ain't that great? Now let me just tell you that if you want to listen whenever and wherever you'd like to listen, just go to randyrhodes.com, click on podcasts and swag, and get your podcast commercial-free, on demand, on any device. randyrhodes.com. Open all day, every day.
To speak to Randy, call now, you bastards. 561-270-3844.
Hello.
Randi Rhodes. Air Force.
Well, there's no question that the emails have always been the greatest threat to her candidacy for president, that her conduct in regard to the emails is really indefensible. And if there was going to be more information that came out, it is the one thing, as I said on the air last night, actually, that could really perhaps affect this election. We don't know what this means yet, except that it's a real bombshell. And that it is unthinkable that the director of the FBI would take this action lightly, that he would put this letter forth to the Congress of the United States saying that there is more information out there about classified emails and call it to the attention of the Congress unless it was something requiring serious investigation. So that's where we are. Is it a certainty that we won't learn before the election? I'm not sure it's a certainty that we won't learn before the election. One thing is, it's possible, I suppose, that Hillary Clinton might want to, on her own initiative, talk to the FBI and find out what she can, and if she chooses to, let the American people know what she thinks or knows is going on, because obviously people are going to need to hear from her.
Yes, that's Carl Bernstein, one half of Woodward and Bernstein. Woodward, I don't know what happened to him, but Bernstein, he's right. He's right. Let me tell you this. She needs to talk to James Comey, and she needs to ask him, what is this? Can you clarify this 3-paragraph cryptic thing? What can I tell people honestly? What can I say to the American people that you're investigating? Can you give more information? Because the drip from the Justice Department has already started seeping out. Now we all, are aware of the fact that the 2 new devices were Huma Abedin's and Anthony Weiner's devices. We don't know if the emails that the unrelated case is the case of Anthony Weiner sexting allegedly a 15-year-old girl in an illicit way. That's what the FBI was investigating, and that they asked for these devices to be turned over to them, which was, that order was complied with. And in going through Anthony Weiner and Huma Abedin's devices, they found some emails that were not sent nor received by Hillary Clinton that don't have anything to do with WikiLeaks, nor do they have to do with the Clinton Foundation. Be very clear about that, you right-wing lunatics. And tell us, what exactly are you looking at? Are you trying to look at a Huma email that she sent to Anthony? Are you trying to look at an Anthony email that he sent to Huma? Are you looking at an email that was sent to other 50? I mean, what are you looking at? Since you're not being clear, Mr. Comey, and the whole entire election is already underway in in almost every state. People are voting. Could you please clarify this? Because the GOP, quite frankly, doesn't care what's in these emails. They only care that there's now a cloud over your investigation. That's it. And they are, we have a very, close election in a lot of battlegrounds. It's a very important thing that we get clarification. People who haven't, I haven't voted yet. People who haven't cast their ballot need to know. I need to know. Also, I would suggest, now, this was annoying to me, okay? Hillary Clinton did, the story goes something like this from one of the reporters that was on the plane today. Hillary Clinton was flying to Cedar Rapids, Iowa today. Donald Trump is going to be in Des Moines, but Hillary was in Cedar Rapids. And so I could have that wrong. No, she was going to Cedar Rapids, and the airplane, for some strange reason, usually has Wi-Fi. Fly-Fi, right? Usually has Fly-Fi. This particular flight for 2 hours did not have Wi-Fi. And so the whole press, the traveling press, Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, everybody that's, pertinent and important to the Clinton campaign was on this plane going to Cedar Rapids for a rally. And they didn't have any Wi-Fi. They didn't find out until I found out. That's the crazy thing. As soon as they landed, I was pulling. I was in my car and I was pulling in here when all of a sudden, breaking news. Right? They found out the exact same moment that I found out that Comey had sent a letter to these different committees in Congress. And that he had said that in an unrelated case, he had found some emails that may or may not be pertinent to the Hillary Clinton investigation having to do with her emails. But we don't know what part of that investigation. We didn't know, what he was talking about, what unrelated case, and we were left on our own. Hillary had to give her speech. Now, if it were Donald, he would have, held everybody at bay for a couple, kept you in suspense. But it was Hillary, and she's on time. So she got on the stage. She actually took to the stage, gave her speech, and didn't mention any of this. And that is one of the things that bugs you about Hillary Clinton. It's one of the things that bugs me about Hillary Clinton. Just tell the American people. I just found out that, James Comey sent this letter. Let me read it to you. Let me tell you what it says. I don't know what the unrelated case is. I'm going to speak to James Comey as soon as, we conclude here today. I'm going to find out what this is. I'm going to ask him to clarify his statement. And I would like to clarify to you that I am 100% sure that I never sent or received any classified email on my personal server. The State Department has, devices for, secure printing. I like hard copy. That's how I got classified documents. I would have them printed out for me, or I used a secure fax machine. So let's not get ahead of ourselves here, but let's also not leave it dangling. See, this is the problem. And, I will say, no matter how this goes down, the problem I think that America has is not with Hillary Clinton as much as it is with the people around Hillary Clinton. It's never, from everything that I've read, from everything that, I've had to follow, around this WikiLeaks thing and around the WikiLeaks thing, that's Russian hacking. Donald Trump is the only human being on the planet that doesn't accept that. He is the only person on the planet, even when confronted about it with, in a sit-down interview yesterday, 17 of our intelligence agencies have all said that these documents are not trustworthy, that they are they were hacked in the first place. The intelligence communities know that the hacking was done by Russia. Donald Trump gets on the stage and starts saying, oh, hacking is one of those difficult things. You never know who's doing it. Well, that's not true. And then when Stephanopoulos asked him about the hacking and said, why won't you accept how are you going to be president of the United States if you don't trust the intelligence apparatus that we have here in America? I mean, these are not people that, are political. These are career people. These are people who sit on that wall all night long listening to intercepts and watching hacking, protect our security. That this is what they do with their lives, all their lives. How could you doubt them? How could you be president and not trust your own intelligence community?
I'll make that decision at the right time. I mean, don't worry about it. I'll make the decision at the right time. But we have a rigged system, and I'll tell you how the system's rigged. It's rigged by the media because it's totally unfair and biased. It's rigged by the media, and it's rigged when you see somebody running for office who shouldn't be allowed to run for office. Hillary Clinton deleted 33,000 emails. Do you know what was on those emails?
No.
And she said they were for the wedding and her spa, okay? Yoga classes. 33,000 emails. I would tell you what was on those emails was horrendous. Look at what's coming out with WikiLeaks. Look at what they're saying, where Podesta says that Hillary Clinton, running for president, has bad instincts. First of all, he should be fired if for no other reason. He's very disrespectful to her. He says a lot of bad things about her.
That's because she doesn't surround herself with yes men.
Bernie Sanders says she's got bad judgment. So if Podesta says bad instincts, Sanders says bad judgment, why are people even thinking about
all 17 U.S. intelligence agencies believe the Russians are behind that leak. Why don't you believe it?
I don't know if they're behind it, and I think it's public relations, frankly. You know what does bother me? I have nothing to do with
But you were
Russia.
even told
George,
by the
George,
Republican head of the Homeland Security Committee, Mike McCall.
Something.
He said the same thing.
I don't know what he said.
He told you that he thought the Russians were behind it.
Hacking is very interesting. Hacking is very hard to determine who did what. Okay, you know that. People are hacking all over the place. Nobody knows. They don't know if it's Russia. They can't guarantee it's Russia. And it may be. I mean, it may be Russia.
Okay, he's an idiot, okay? Mike McCall of the Department of Homeland Security told him, briefed him, sat down with him, face to face, told him it's the Russians. They're determined to have their little fingers in our election. Vlad said, what? America, they think that we're hacking into, what are they, some banana republic? Shut up, Vlad. Go take over some oil and gas company in your country like you do. Go be the good oligarch, communist, KGB agent that you are. Donald Trump was briefed. Donald Trump was told by all the intelligence agencies, every last one, that this is a case of Russian hacking for the purpose of involving themselves in our election. Okay, this is a classic propaganda campaign being conducted by the Russians, who definitely prefer Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States simply because of what he said about NATO, that it's obsolete, and that if Russia attacks one of our neighbors, it's like an attack on us. That's what NATO is, an alliance that we have been part of for 50 years. And Donald Trump wants to remove that, and Russia would have a happy day. I mean, they would dance all over the place. And, white people can't dance. I know. I'm Russian. I'm actually Ukrainian now. Used to be part of Russia. Well, maybe it is again. Thank you, Donald Trump. No, but I mean, honest to God. So this has nothing to do with that, okay? This has nothing to do with WikiLeaks. This has nothing to do with the Clinton Foundation. This doesn't even have anything to do with Hillary receiving or sending anything. This has to do with an investigation into Anthony Weiner's illicit sexting scandal. And I don't know what's on there, but James Comey needs to clarify that this was nothing Hillary sent or received, that this has nothing to do with WikiLeaks, that this has nothing to do with the Clinton Foundation. This is from a device that he previously didn't have. Now, Obama is on his way here to Florida tonight. He's going to be speaking in Orlando. And you could just best believe, because, he's not running for anything ever again. He's much more relaxed than he used to be. And he's much more candid than he used to be. And he's funnier than he ever was. Although the best comedy routine he ever did was against Donald Trump at the Gridiron dinner. That's the dinner I want to go to so damn bad. But that was the one where he said, Donald Trump made the hard decision. He didn't fire Meatloaf. He didn't fire Little John. Instead, he fired Gary Busey, who apparently also turned out to be some sort of a Chester the molester. I mean, everybody around Trump seems to be a Chester the molester. And they're looking into Anthony Weiner to see if he's a Chester the molester. There's a lot of Chester the molesters among us. All right, Rudy and... What is that?
Bullhead City, Arizona.
No, but why am I hearing myself?
I don't know.
I don't either. Let me put you on hold and see if it's me or you. Reggie in Decatur. All right, then. Let me put you on hold. No, you're on this line. Let go of this line so I could test it, please. Hello?
Hello?
Hi. No, it's them. It's them. It's not us. Yeah, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, you.
You're on the air.
Oh, you're not too happy about this, are you?
Too happy about what?
Georgia water!
What? What did he say?
I think he had to get to a meeting. I have no idea.
Georgia water? What is Georgia water? Very strange. Reggie in Decatur? No, not prepared. Rudy in Bullhead? No. All right, great job there. You're putting people through with very, very, very bad phones, and we can't take their call. And we just went through all the lines, and now we have to wait to load them up again, is what we have to do. Let me just give you a clue. Reggie in Decatur's phone sucks. The guy in Bullhead, Arizona, his phone blows. It should never be on the air. And the guy on line 3 just yelled Georgia water, and I don't know what that means, so I'll just take him cold is what I'll do. Randi Rhodes Show, how may I direct your call?
Hey, Randy, it's Paul in New Mexico.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
Are we on the air?
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, I don't actually talk to people off the air very much.
No, you don't.
No.
You don't. But you don't answer the phone either. But
no, I don't.
I'm so happy to be on the phone with you.
All right.
Gosh, I mean, help me out here. It's like this cloud. I mean, hopefully we're going to reassess our feelings about Comey. This just makes no sense to bring this out now.
No, it is. It's a very strange thing on his part. It's look, he obviously wanted this settled back before we started voting, right? And so that's why, he wasn't supposed to give any kind of press conference. A lot of people were very upset about that press conference in the first place, the Comey conference. But I think he did it because he didn't want anything about the Department of Justice to have political influence or, cast any kind of vote for one candidate or the other. And so he did give that press conference saying no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute this case. And so that's what I'm recommending to, Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, and we'll see what happens. All right. So that was kind of unorthodox, but he did it so that we would have all the information ahead of casting our ballots. And now, he sends this letter 11 days away from Election Day. It is kind of crazy, but and that's why I think he needs to clarify why he did it, what this is, what it has to do with, what it doesn't have to do with, because I haven't cast my ballot yet, and I need to know.
Yeah. Well, there's another kind of big picture thing here, observing this whole process. It was also like when all the media came out the day before the polls opened in California and just, drummed into everybody's head, Hillary's already won. I mean, that's really messing with the electoral process.
Well, it's a different, that's a different source. That's a different kind of, suppression campaign.
I understand, but there's a similarity in that here we are 11 days before an incredibly important election.
Yeah.
And are we talking about issues? No. We're talking about a cloud. And who put that stink bong cloud out there? a Republican.
Yeah, and the idea that I understand what you're saying, but I don't know why Comey did this. That's what I'm saying. I'm asking James Comey, who I recognize as a man of integrity, to please come forward and explain why 11 days before an election he felt the need to put this out there. Now, he could have a very good explanation. Maybe he wanted to be asked about something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you can't have this thing out there 11 days before an election. You just can't.
Yeah. Go out and vote. We need a Hillary landslide.
Well, I mean, that would be my preference. Other than that, I would sit it out, right? And I've never sat it out because there's no way I'm voting for a fascist. But don't we all need to know what the hell he's referring to here and what's going? Now, she also owes us some sort of statement. That's just plain clear. Idiot boy made his statement 10 minutes after he got the news. He has no idea what's going on. That's right there. You can't vote for him. You can't. Period. You don't get some sort of a 3-paragraph letter saying that you're looking into an unrelated case and then get on stage and say the corrupt Hillary criminal enterprise. It has nothing to do with that.
Clear for takeoff. The Randi Rhodes Air Force. Air Force. RandiRhodes.com.
The Leslie Marshall Show on the Progressive Voices Network. We have Martin O'Malley. Mr. O'Malley was 61st governor of Maryland, a former 2016 Democratic presidential candidate. You ran for president, and you're now out there telling people you got to vote for our candidate who has clearly far more experience to be president than Donald Trump.
I mean, here's the way I look at it, Leslie. If you were going to have surgery, you wouldn't say, gosh, I want a doctor that's not part of the establishment. I want a doctor that's not part of those guys that have always done surgery. You wouldn't have a legal matter and say, you know what, I want somebody that's a non-lawyer to handle my case. But this is a complex and complicated world. Right now, in the midst of a new era, our economy's changing, the skills required, the connections to other economies of this world. This is going to require thoughtful and steady leadership to build upon the 79 months of positive job growth that President Obama has pulled off and to make wages go up. It's not exactly rocket science. There's certain fundamental things with regard to policy and our wage and labor policies that we need to do. We need to make college more affordable. We need to pay equal pay for equal work, make it easier for people to join labor unions and bargain collectively for better wages, because that helps all of us. We need to reform immigration laws in this country so that we aren't forcing 11 million of our neighbors to work off the books, and that, too, would be a help to make wages go up. So I believe experience is important. Secretary Clinton has that experience, and bringing that experience to the continuing work of this recovery is what's important. We can't go backwards as far as we've come. I understand people's frustrations. There's a lot of people that just want to break the kitchen table, but breaking the kitchen table doesn't put more food on it. There are things we need to do as a nation, and Hillary Clinton can lead us forward to do those things.
One of the things I think people have a hard time wrapping their head around is they see you out there, they see Bernie Sanders out there, and you wanted the job she's going for. But that's part of our process, part of the American way, and part of being in a party, whether you're Democrat or Republican, is to rally around, which we're not seeing on the GOP side.
Yeah, well, I think you're so oppressed of one of the most endangered and rare species in the Republic right now is a Trump surrogate. You don't find many Trump surrogates. Maybe Chris Christie and former Mayor Giuliani, but I'm proud to be able to support Secretary Clinton. She won the greatest amount of votes. We don't always get our first choice out of the primary, but that primary process made her stronger as a candidate. It gave us the most progressive Democratic platform we've ever put forward, including moving our country to a 100% clean electric grid by 2050, some very clear language with regard to immigration reform, even repealing the death penalty. I mean, these are things that came out of that primary process.
Catch my show, The Leslie Marshall Show, Monday to Friday on the Progressive Voices Network.
The Randi Rhodes Show is brought to you by our partners at ITM Trading. Call them at 1-888-OWN-GOLD and ask for a free gold kit. 1-888-OWN GOLD.
The Randi Rhodes Show is live on RandiRhodes.com and the free Progressive Voices app for Android and iOS. Visit the App Store or ProgressiveVoices.com now.
The whole world has heard Trump brag about how he mistreats women, and the disturbing stories just keep coming. But it's more than just the way he degrades women, as horrible as that is. He has attacked immigrants, African Americans, Latinos, people with disabilities, POWs, Muslims, and our military, which he's called a disaster. There's hardly any part of America that he has not targeted. Now, it makes you want to turn off the news. It makes you want to unplug the internet or just look at cat gifs. Believe me, I get it. In the last few weeks, I've watched a lot of cats do a lot of weird and interesting things.
I don't know how she does it. I really don't. I mean, they throw everything at her. The GOP throws everything. Paul Ryan, that moron, stood up today and called for her to stop getting confidential briefings. Really, this woman has had confidential briefings probably for the last, what? Well, we know, 4 years as Secretary of State, yes. We know 6 years in the Senate, yes. Probably as First Lady, she got some, I don't know. I don't know if First Ladies are briefed or not. I have no earthly idea. But she's the one that Donald Trump is the scariest dude in the history of the American presidency. The challenge of becoming president. I mean, this man just makes crap up. He gets breaking news and he stands up and announces to his people, she's a corrupt criminal, like I told you. Well, what proof do you? Whatever happened to the word alleged? Honest to God, what is wrong with this man? I don't know, but he has got America so divided that for that reason and that reason alone, he should never be president, because we would have more than one America under a presidency like that. We would never, we'll survive it, but it won't be easy or painless. JR in Los Angeles.
Yes, Randi, long time, first time.
Hey.
I love it. All right. Just wanted to call in because I figured you might be answering the phones and I might be able to talk to you.
Yes, you could talk to me today.
Yeah, good. Anyway, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Why are girls defending Donald Trump and attacking Hillary on social media? After I just watched Hillary and Michelle Obama have that one quick speech, I was floored. I got goosebumps.
Yeah, they're great together.
Doing this, the nice gentleman that answered the phone said Stockholm syndrome. I don't get it. I just look at it and go, I'm defending myself on Facebook and on Twitter right now because I said something really nice about how much I enjoyed that speech with Michelle and Hillary acting like an old comedy team, like pointing at the other person and saying the right thing at the right time. If I watch Donald Trump, I could get an aneurysm.
Well, it's weird. It's like he's become a cult. Do you know what I mean? Why do people vote against their own best interests in the first place? And why women would defend Donald Trump when he's launched the human version of Pearl Harbor on womankind? Do you know? And I don't, really spend a whole lot of time talking about women's issues. I just don't. But, I would like to say, and I've said yesterday to the Republican women, come over to ours. What have you got to lose?
Oh, yeah, don't use his line. It's terrible.
I know. Yeah. He is an amazing affront to all humankind, let alone womankind. The man is just the most disrespectful, loudmouthed, just not a thinker, not a guy. You want a wonky guy. You want a smart man. This is a man who couldn't get laid in Las Vegas with $10,000 and a porn star. What kind of businessman is he?
Not a closer.
No, not a closer. Thanks. Thanks. Have a great weekend. No, seriously, it's so obvious. This man is a phony. He's a fraud. He's a fake. He's a charlatan. He's a demagogue. He's a P.T. Barnum. I don't know how America's going to react once they figure out that he lied to them constantly, consistently. That we're paying for a wall if it ever gets built. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how America's going to react. But he's taking you all for suckers, and it kind of hurts me to watch. Artie in Brookfield, Connecticut.
Randy, it's great to speak with you. First of all, of course, I agree with everything you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try to put your mind at ease a little bit.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, good. The math doesn't work for him. I mean, he's down with women. He's down with non-white. He's down with every group except for old white men. It's just statistically impossible for him to win.
Well, old white men need to take a Xanax and lay down, is what they need to do.
I'm a white man, and I'm fine with everything. The GOP, as always, overplays its hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, Randy, this has been a nothing burger. There's nothing in it.
No, there's nothing.
I think it's going to be a much more difficult day for Anthony Weiner and for James Comey than it will be for Hillary Clinton. It's going to fizzle out.
It's a sick thing that Anthony Weiner has to be investigated for illicit texting of underage girls. It's just a sick thing. But Anthony Weiner is not in government. He is not part of, and what can I tell you?
All things Randy at RandyRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, The Randi Rhodes Show.
Your phone can be a source for progressive power. Yes, it can. Credo Mobile is a progressive phone company. So what does that mean? It means every month they take a share of their revenue, more than $150,000, and donate it to incredible progressive organizations like Friends of the Earth, Project Vote, Social Security Works, the Brennan Center for Justice. Even better, Credo lets people vote every month to determine how they divide this pool of funding. Not only does Credo fund progressive causes, but you get to use the phone of your choice with great service. Right now, Credo has a special deal for Randi Rhodes Show listeners. Go to credo.com/Randy and get $150 off any smartphone of your choice, plus 50% off unlimited talk and text for 1 year. Just go to credo.com/Randy, 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 or call 1-888-533-8225 and tell them Randy from the Randi Rhodes Show sent you. The phone company that represents your values, credo.com/Randy.
You're listening to WIN, Workers Independent News, a production of Diversified Media Enterprises. I'm Doug Cunningham. American working people will elect the next president of the United States on November 8th. The AFL-CIO is the largest labor federation in the country, and it's backing Hillary Clinton for president. Rich Trumka is president of the AFL-CIO. Generations of Trumka's family were coal miners in Pennsylvania. Workers and their unions don't get the mass media attention lavished on the billionaire candidate for president, so Trumka would like to say a few things to working people voting in this presidential election.
My family spent 3 generations in the coal mines of Pennsylvania. I know the feeling of setback and struggle, and I understand those who are skeptical about our institutions of power. And I share the frustration of every working person who busts their butt only to fall further behind. It's us, America's working people, who will get our country back on track. But we can't do it alone. We need a president who will empower us to reach our full potential. I believe with every fiber of my being that Hillary Clinton is the woman for the job.
Trumka says when it comes to the economy, jobs, and your right to join unions and to collectively bargain for better lives with your boss, Clinton is far better for your family than the billionaire candidate who, as President Obama says, spent 70 years on this earth never caring at all about working people.
Some working class voters are distrustful of politicians who've been around for multiple terms. let alone decades. And they truly believe no one in power is listening to them. But those of us who know Hillary Clinton can tell you, she is listening. She put forward the most aggressive plan for infrastructure since World War II, to the tune of millions of good new jobs. She'll reinvest in urban America to create jobs and opportunities. And she'll make sure workers can form and join unions freely and fairly.
Brought to you by the Alliance for American Manufacturing, working to prevent the loss of American jobs caused by unfair foreign competition, and working to promote fair trade laws to level the playing field for American workers. Information on how you can help create smart, worker-focused public policy is online at americanmanufacturing.org. Brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield National Labor Office, empowering working Americans with stable health coverage for over 50 years. The National Labor Office is committed to remaining the top choice for the 17 million union workers, retirees, and families they serve. Online at bcbs.com/NLO.
You've been listening to WIN, Workers Independent News. For more information, visit laborradio.org.
Hi, we're back, and everything is possible again. Isn't it beautiful? Well, if you want to keep it this way, buy a stinking podcast. Oh yes, you have to buy a stinking podcast. And you get that at RandiRhodes.com, where we're open all day, all night long. RandiRhodes.com. Get your stinking podcast.
On the eve of the most important election of our time, bring your friends to an unprecedented event. The Sexy Liberal Tour goes coast to coast.
Give it up for yourselves, sexy liberals. God bless you. I wanna be elected.
Monday, November 7th, just one night.
We've got to protect our phony baloney job, gentlemen.
The Sexy Liberal Comedy Tour comes to your town. It's a special Get Out the Vote rally with a new original show in theaters nationwide on the eve of the election.
What would you like to see a new government bring in? More wine.
You've told your friends about it. Now show them what Sexy Liberal is all about. Stephanie Miller, John Fugelsang, and comedy duo Frangela are eager to make you laugh and get out the vote. The Sexy Liberal Show and Fathom Events make it possible for the #1 political comedy tour to come to your city with this one-of-a-kind event at select cinemas nationwide. Monday, Election Eve, November 7th. For more information and tickets, visit fathomevents.com.
There's still a world left when this is all over. I'd like to buy you a beer.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America. From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
And now it's time for our word of the day. Rigged. Which means to manipulate a situation dishonestly for personal gain. According to Donald Trump, he's been the victim of systemic riggism. It's just poor little Donnie against the whole big bad world. Here's a list of some of the things Donald believes are rigged. The polls, the FBI, the RNC, the DNC, the court system, science, NAFTA, the debates, women, the media, the Emmys, microphones, and that annoying little law that says you can't marry your daughter. Just because something doesn't go your way doesn't mean it's rigged. You know what actually is rigged, Donald? Casinos. Casinos are rigged to always favor the house, but somehow you still managed to bankrupt 3 of them. You fucked up the unfuck-upable. However, there is one more definition of rigged. It's the nautical definition for all my maritime enthusiasts. Rig, to make a boat ready for sailing. Well, I am more than happy to help you rig the SS Bad Hombre, Nasty Woman to sail right out of your lives. Oh, no, wait. Oh, look. Oh, my God, it was a whale following them. No wonder the oceans are rising. And that's been our word of the day.
Chelsea Handler, everybody. Chelsea Handler. Yes, everything is rigged. In Donald's world, it's all rigged until it goes his way, and then they're great. They're just fantastic. I mean, the FBI is rigged. The Department of Justice is rigged. Republicans are rigged again. Everything is rigged. The polls are rigged. The voting is rigged. Everything is rigged. Unless he wins, and then voting was great, and there's no rigging in the United States of America. There are no dead people voting. There are no, ineligible voters or aliens that are not entitled to voting. If the Justice Department should actually come out with some sort of a report that says, oh my God, Hillary Clinton did do it, whatever it is, then the FBI isn't rigged and James Comey is a great guy and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just such a bunch of crap. This man is just full of crap. What's playing, do you think?
I think it might.
You think it's me? I don't think it's me. Everything's closed. Oh my God, I'm being haunted by him.
Is it that other computer?
This one. Oh, it could be. Yes, thank you. Oh, thank God. I thought it was the pre-Halloween haunting. Oh, by the way, I told you we're not allowed to have any political signs in our, So I get a letter yesterday from the, what do we live in? Homeowners, from the homeowners, Nazis. And they say, take down your political display. I don't have a political display. I have an animatron on my lawn that looks incredibly a lot like Donald Trump. And that's what I have. And my neighbor has the same one.
Did they get a letter too?
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't because, Lala, she does this crazy dead thing, Halloween, spread. And actually, I have the dead Donald on my phone. I was supposed to Facebook it. So maybe I'll do it during the break. But so they told me to take it down. So what I did was I took the handwritten card that said dead Donald. I took that off, but my animatron is the same as my neighbor's animatron, and if she gets her animatron, then I get mine, and it's just going to be in your cuckoo imagination if you think that my dead animatron, that my walking dead head that is coming up out of my lawn looks like your candidate. Well, too bad. That's all in your head. Carmen and Tamarack.
Randy, darling, it is so good to have you back.
Thank you.
I raised my little brother Louis on you and Neil Rogers here in South Florida like mother's milk, and he's here with me now, and I'm so happy to finally get a chance to talk to you.
Well, hi.
Anyway, now what's going to come out of my mouth? It's anybody's guess. I was wanting to tell you about 3 specific Trump supporters that I know who I think are along the lines of archetypes. There is the guy who told me that he wants to vote for Trump just to see what he would do because he would shake things up.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Well, a 10-point earthquake on the Richter scale would shake things up too, but that doesn't mean it's a good thing.
Right, but I get the curiosity. I get that.
Yeah, but I mean, once it's done, it's done. You can't undo something like this. And the people in England are finding that out with the Brexit thing.
Yeah, they are.
But the thing is, that pales in comparison to what could happen here.
Yeah.
If this guy were elected, which I don't think he will be, because I don't think there are enough stupid white men or bigoted white men and their consorts, or whatever you want to call them, and otherwise ignorant people. Well, I mean, we had 35 years of cutting public education to the bone in this country, which has really contributed to the problem of ignorance. But still, I think that you've got enough people out there with some common sense, and he's offended virtually every group there is, but other than the ignorant white men.
So wait, let me redirect your focus. So the archetypes are one, Mr. Curious, and what are the other two?
Okay, and then I have a black friend who supports Trump.
Really?
Yes. And we won't talk about him in any detail right now because he ties into my friend who is a woman who supports him. And you know what they have in common? You know what all three of these people have in common? They know absolutely nothing about politics.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And they get what little information they do have from very dubious sources, and I'm sure you know what they are.
Yeah.
On the internet and on the TV, like the network that we shall not name. But I mean, the ignorance is just mind-boggling, and there are others that I've come across. I tend to keep my Facebook feed free of people like that, but I can't deal with
and
them.
I don't. I deal with them. I actually, I invite them in. I give them my phone number. I tell them to call the show.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I was 13 years old arguing religion with the guy next door who was Church of Christ. They were from Puerto Rico, and of course, everybody in Puerto Rico used to be Catholic. But then the Protestant missionaries came in and converted them to these fundamentalist forms of Christianity, and they turned into Church of Christ. And you know what? And they kind of blended that whole thing with the traditional Spanish view. And the boys in the family got to do whatever they wanted, and the girls in the family got to go to the grocery store and to church and to school. And other than that, and to visit, friends and relatives. And that was all they were allowed to do. And I tried to tell these parents from the age of 13, when I moved in next door to them, that if you don't trust your kids, if you don't, trust that you have raised them right and taught them right from wrong, and you have to trust them and give them some freedom, or they're going to marry the first guy who comes along just to get out of the house. And guess what happened? Yeah, and they were pregnant.
Oh,
but,
I was going to ask you if they got knocked out.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And
you are rambling, and I am going to say happy Friday. Nice talking to you. And
thank you very much.
Okay, I'll see you in
And I love
Publix.
you, Randy.
All
Bye.
right, thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God, my ears are ringing. Karen in Whittier.
She sounded a little hammered.
Yeah, a little bit. It's Florida. It's Florida.
First of all, we have to put in buy a stinking podcast because.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Yes, go to RandiRhodes.com and then click on podcast, select your subscription, and purchase a podcast. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I am a proud owner of a podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That's what I listen to on weekends when I have nothing else to listen to or no TV.
Are we? Hang on a second. Are we going to do our little idea that
We're going to attempt it. I think it's ready to go. Yeah.
You do? All right. So here's what we'll probably do this weekend for people who don't have a podcast, or because the podcast does not have video, and we haven't decided about what we should do about that. So what we're going to do is a binge watching weekend. We're going to give you like every Friday show, which we've already given all those shows for free. So we're going to put them all together, and we're going to run them on all of our platforms, which means Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. We're going to just run all these Friday shows just so you can binge watch them at your leisure this weekend. Just this one weekend.
Okay. Very cool.
Yes.
Now, NBC News came out last night with a new story about Russia. They got hacked.
Russia got hacked?
Oh, yeah. Russia, Putin's closest, what was it? He is like his right-hand man by a group called Cyber Junta, and they are a Ukrainian group. And basically, this guy's emails got hacked. Well, guess who was pulling all the strings with the Ukrainian separatists.
Oh, let me guess. Paul Manafort?
No, it was definitely Putin in Moscow. And they have everything, including the plane that was shot down and the elections and all of that. Everything has been confirmed, what everybody believed. And it's all confirmed.
Okay,
so,
I just got the article right now. What are you saying is confirmed?
Basically, what the U.S. was saying, that Putin was behind it all, that he was behind the separatists, that he was behind the election.
Oh, yeah, the stuff that went on in Russia, but not our stuff.
In the Ukraine.
Yeah, but not our stuff.
Yeah, no, not our stuff.
Oh, that's why I guess Manafort. I thought perhaps there was some leaked email that showed that they purposely hacked, our DNC and WikiLeaks, that they gave all these emails over to. That's what I thought.
They haven't got.
Okay. All right.
This is about Ukraine, and basically what.
Well,
everybody
look,
was saying.
I got to tell you, this is how the world works. The idea that there have always been spies. We even have comic books called Spy versus Spy.
Yeah.
And that we've always had, like the
Rosenbergs.
Yes, we killed them because we believe she was a spy and he was a spy. I mean, you die for that, right? So we've always had spies. So if we're hacking them and they're getting hacked by Ukraine, and China is hacking us to get our patents and to do knockoff versions of our codes or our products or whatever, then obviously, we're doing it to them, they're doing it to us. And so why Donald Trump doesn't believe our intelligence agencies when they tell him that Russia has an intense interest in this particular election, their preferred candidate is Donald Trump. There is, I'll tell you, there's a letter that was written by Harry Reid that said that they had evidence that, here, I'll read it to you. This is to James Comey. Okay, I just was researching that today, and I came up with this letter that was written by Harry Reid, the Senate minority leader, and he said, as you know, Russia's intent to influence the outcome of our presidential election has been well documented by numerous news organizations. It has been reported your agency is currently investigating the cyber theft of thousands of documents from several Democratic organizations, including but not limited to the DNC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, DCCC, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, it has come to my attention that last week, video evidence came to light of an individual with long ties to Donald Trump and his top campaign aides claiming to be in communication with WikiLeaks, the organization that posted the 20,000 DNC documents illegitimately obtained by Russia. The prospect of individuals tied to Trump, WikiLeaks, and the Russian government coordinating to influence our election raises concern of the utmost gravity and merits full examination. So they say they have video evidence of collusion between Donald Trump's aides, Donald Trump, his campaign, with Julian Assange at WikiLeaks, and the Russian government. Well, I mean, what are we waiting for? So when you said that you saw something on NBC, I thought maybe I missed the story that they actually went forward and found that.
This was about, I'm sure there might be more. These guys completely hacked Putin's aid.
Yeah, but the thing is, everybody hacks. Everybody hacks.
Everybody hacks. And the thing is people, so many people say Julian Assange is a hero. He's no hero. He wants out of the deep coal. And because there is a secret extradition order for him for the U.S. And he wants Trump elected simply because that extradition will go away if he gets elected.
Oh, he'll get, what I think would happen is, I think Trump would, have such a debt of gratitude for leaking the WikiLeaks to give him something to talk about, even though it's a big nothing burger, that I think he would bring him here and pardon him.
Exactly. That's what he wants. Because there is an extradition order for him.
Yeah, I know, but that's I mean,
Julian Assange is no hero. He's doing this for his own benefit.
I don't think he's a hero either. Tell you the truth, just even the leaking during an election cycle tells me that he's got a horse in this race, and he's betting on it.
Randi Rhodes, Air Force. The Randi Rhodes Show is live on RandiRhodes.com and the free Progressive Voices app for Android and iOS. Visit the App Store or ProgressiveVoices.com now.
With the Dow rallying back to recent highs, everything looks good on the surface. But the underlying data is saying something very different. Experts are saying another recession may be on the horizon, and if Trump wins the election, who knows how bad things will get. Are you comfortable with Trump holding the keys to America's economic future? Well, hell no. He scares the crap out of me. So there's something that we all need to do. Protect yourselves. My friends at ITM Trading teach people how to use gold and silver as wealth protection in uncertain economic times. They make owning gold and silver a very simple process, and they even ship it right to your door absolutely free. So call my friends at ITM Trading at 1-888-OWN-GOLD and ask them to send you a free gold kit. It outlines how to protect yourself with gold and silver. Learn what you need to. Get started today. ITM Trading. Call them at 1-888-OWN-GOLD, 1-888-OWN-GOLD, and protect yourself today. Tell them Randy sent you.
Hello, Progressive Voices tune-in listeners. I'm Casey Hobbs.
And I'm Shane Mason, and we're the hosts of Nurse Talk Radio.
Here's what we're talking about this week.
Colorado Care Amendment 69 would bring universal health care to every resident of Colorado, regardless of their immigration status. We're very proud of that. And it would provide coverage much more comprehensive than what the Affordable Care Act does. It really moves us to a Medicare for all type model in Colorado. And, you know, we have such tremendous support for it here. And we see that all the usual suspects in terms of opposition, the insurance companies, big pharma, they're all weighing in with big money on the airwaves. So, yep, we're out canvassing and trying to get the word out to as many Colorado voters as we possibly can that under this plan, you'd save so much money, we'd save so many lives, and there's just nothing that should prevent us from moving forward on this.
85% of all medical errors can be linked to poor communication and disruptive behavior among healthcare professionals. Do you notice, is bullying more prevalent in our profession than other professions?
Oh, yes. While nurses can be so caring and compassionate to their patients, we can be so horrific to each other. There's a problem here. You both know this. Mm-hmm. We work in unpredictable environments, and we have more stress at work. We are being asked to do more and more with less and less. Mm-hmm. You know, the higher acuity of the patient loads that we have makes it less likely for us to all behave in a professional manner and more likely for us to sort of lash out at each other. We're starting down another, path to a nursing shortage.
Check out our show at nursetalksite.com and listen every Saturday and Sunday right here on Progressive Voices.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Reggie in Decatur, you better not have a crappy phone again.
Happy Friday to you yourself, Randy. And
well, thank you, you little bastard. Thank you.
Thank you too, honey.
Are you calling me? Are you calling me from the ghetto?
No.
Because, did you hear Donald Trump talk about black neighborhoods last night as being the ghetto?
No, I didn't.
Yes,
Randy. No, I didn't.
He said black people live in the ghetto.
Right. Well, not every black person lives in the ghetto.
No, in fact, most black people live in suburbia. Most black people are middle class and upper class.
Right.
I don't know why he does this, but he does this.
He's an idiot. But if this WikiLeaks investigation of Hillary Rodham Clinton yet once again is such a nothing burger story again, then why are these conservative radio and TV talk show hosts harping about or obsessing and masturbating over it? If they haven't done that yet already today.
Because just mentioning the emails in the same breath as FBI even though it's an unrelated matter. It casts a cloud over her, and we've got Iowa is in play, for God's sake. I think Trump is winning Texas by 3 points. Texas by 3. Right. I mean, Georgia is in play. Ruby red states are starting to vote for Hillary, and something that ties a closed investigation to a new investigation having to do with somebody close to Clinton's emails, it just leaves them breathless. But it's like, one of our callers said, the GOP always overplays their hand, always. And they will do that in this case, too. In fact, Donald Trump already did. He stood up on a stage today and called her, what he always calls her, and then said, and now we have proof. Like, what the freak? What is your proof? That Anthony Weiner sexts? I mean, really?
Yeah. And speaking of Hillary Clinton, she should step out in front of this and squash it, bury it, lay it to rest once and for all. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And Obama's going to be in Orlando tonight giving a big speech, and it'll be, Friday night. Some people, will be sitting at home watching this, and I really think that, he needs to say something about, whether or not Comey needs to address it, whether or not 3, cryptic paragraphs were a good idea in the middle of early voting. It's just a very strange story. That's why. But the Republicans are breathless about it only because it says email and it says FBI. And if they don't step out in front of it, her and President Barack Obama don't step out in front of this, they're gonna hammer her or him or better yet, they're gonna hammer them both until the very end of time, possibly. Because they're going to keep harping and obsessing about it.
Well, what it would be, for me, anyway, from the way I see it, it would be an intense voter suppression effort. I mean, seriously, there's nothing in the world that could make me vote for him. Nothing. How? Not even my curiosity, which I understood. The caller from Tamarack said she had some friends who are just crazy curious about what it would look like. I get that because I'm a curious person too. And trust me, it's crossed my mind. I just want to see, what would it be? But, I was raised never to let fascism happen any place in the world ever again. And it's certainly not here in my country. So I can't do it. But would it keep people from voting at all? Yes, it would if this thing isn't fully explained very quickly.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And like I said, she should step out in front of this once and for all before it gets any worse, before it spirals way out of control.
Well, it's already out of control. It's been, thank God it's Friday afternoon. However, it's out of control. It's already out of control. And the really crazy part about it, and this is where you got to I cut her a little bit of slack, just a little, just a tad, just a touch. They say they had no Wi-Fi on that plane today on the trip to Cedar Rapids. And so they did not know what the media was breaking. They didn't know. Their phones weren't connected to the internets. So they had no idea. So when they landed and they were connected again, that's when they started getting these breaking news alerts. Hillary's speech was scheduled for an hour later, and they didn't know what they were looking at. They had no idea. They didn't know what what this cryptic, James Comey email to the Congress was referring to, or this letter to the Congress was referring to. They had no idea that it had to do with Anthony Weiner and Huma Abedin and their device. Nobody knew at that point. But she should have said, this is why I question the advice. She should have said, we have no idea what those emails are. We don't know, what he means by another investigation. We don't know what he means, when he says unrelated case. But I can guarantee you that it has nothing to do with the results of his investigation with regard to us. That nothing could come out because there is nothing that could come out because we did nothing that could come out that would change what the Justice Department found wasn't a crime. I mean, that's really what needs to be said, and it needs to be said fast. Now, I do know Podesta put out some sort of here's what he said. Let's see. In connection with an unrelated case, this is the Comey statement, right? In connection with an unrelated case, the FBI has learned of the existence of emails that appear to be pertinent to the investigation. I am writing to inform you that the investigative team briefed me on this yesterday, and I agreed that the FBI should take appropriate investigative steps designed to allow investigators to review these emails to determine whether they contain classified information. They're trying to see if Anthony Weiner and Huma Abedin's emails have classified information in them. And then they will decide whether or not they do, and then they'll assess their importance to the investigation surrounding Hillary Clinton's email. So the Clinton campaign, the chairman, of course, is John Podesta, and he issued this statement just in the last few minutes. He said, FBI Director Comey should immediately provide the American public more information that is contained in the letter he sent to 8 Republican committee chairmen. Already, we've seen characterizations that the FBI is reopening an investigation, but Comey's words do not match this characterization. Director Comey's letter refers to emails that have come to light in an unrelated case, but we have no idea what those emails are. And the director himself notes they may not even be significant. It's extraordinary that we would see something like this just 11 days out from the presidential election. And, you know, they really do. I thought I saw something in passing. You know, I have CNN on the TV all the time, but I'm closed caption reading. I thought I saw something in passing that came from Hillary Clinton that said nothing could change the outcome because there is no other outcome. It is what, you know, it is what it is. It's been investigated for a year. There is no other outcome. So, yeah, they do need to get ahead of it. Obama needs to put it in his speech somewhere tonight in Orlando. Hillary Clinton needs to put out statements like crazy. I don't even know what's going on Twitter because I can't, you know, I'm doing a lot of things here. And so I can't tweet. I did Facebook, but I have to post it on the show.
I actually have it. Should we show the video?
Oh, of Alan? You want to see Alan?
Of the dead Donald.
Yeah, but watch this video. It's so cute. It's dead Donald scares the bejesus out of my dog here. Watch this. So that's the front of my house. Obviously, I need to rake things. Hello, dead Donald. So that's the offensive sign. Alan, get dead Donald. Go get him. Donald. Dead Donald. Donald scares little adorable animals. Yeah, he can't be the president. Steve in Coral Springs.
Yeah.
Oh, you're watching it. I hear it.
Yeah, hi, Randy.
Hi, Steve.
My thinking is this, that they're preparing us for a Trump victory.
What?
They're going to use this. Yeah, you know, think about Rick Snyder, Rick Scott, Scott Walker. These are all battleground states.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Democrats are saying the election is safe and not fixed. And what if they are fixed? What if, like they've done in the past, Pasco County or somewhere in northern Florida, votes get switched and Florida goes to Trump. And I just think it's a setup.
Well, that's very depressing. That's the darkest view I've heard all day. I got to say, you get the award for dark. Well, of course you're in Florida.
Well, you know, it's just they're trying to make it a horse race again. Everybody said, you know, Hillary's the winner.
Yeah, but Comey did do this. Comey did put out this email, and either you trust James Comey as the head of the Justice Department or you don't. And in all honesty, I do. And I know that may be unpopular with people because he shouldn't have given a press conference when he did in July. He should have just, you know, made his recommendation to Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General, saying, I don't recommend, and let her, you know, obviously, you know, that was not a great thing. But I know why he did it. He did it because he wanted it all ended one way or another, guilty or innocent, closed or open, before we cast our ballots. That's what he wanted to do. Now, people have taken issue with that particular move that he made. I get it. However, I don't think James Comey is the kind of person, I don't think he's the kind of Republican that would suppress the vote or, you know, do anything to But I don't know why. But I don't know why he did it. I don't know what this letter was supposed to do. I don't know. And as far as the media interpreting it to say that, a new investigation, he's reopening the event. I read the letter at the open of the show. It does not say anything about reopening any investigation.
Whatever the letter says has nothing to do with how Donald Trump and his fevered supporters are.
But even the media did it. Even CNN did it. They represented it as reopening the Hillary case, and I don't see that in this email. Now,
MSNBC, the word bombshell affecting Hillary.
Well, you know what? It is an October surprise. You got to admit that. I mean, that the head of the Justice Department would send a letter 11 days ahead of an election saying
That's my point.
Right. But you're assigning a motive to him that I can't assign to him until he explains. He needs to explain, though.
Well, they have to have a reason why Donald Trump would win when all the polls saying he's going to lose, and this is something they could ascribe to that.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but then you're saying Comey did this on purpose for that reason.
Why else would he? Well, not exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We need to know. We need to know. And I'm not the kind of person that goes with anything but fact. And all I have so far is 3 paragraphs from the FBI director telling me that he's in an unrelated case getting some emails.
Right, but relating to Hillary Clinton 11 days before the election, I think he would know that it would be an adverse effect on her campaign.
It is a weird letter. It's a very strange letter.
It's not a neutral letter. It's something that affects her campaign, and now the media is running with it. The word email, like you said, email, FBI.
Yeah, I know, but I can't imagine.
Screaming about it.
But if I listen to you, then I have to go into conspiracy territory, and I have to say that James Comey did this on purpose because the governors of certain swing states are fixing and rigging their elections to favor Donald Trump. I can't do that. I can't go there. I would never do that.
Well, but
you know me. I hope you know me a long time. I don't go to places where I don't have facts. I go where the facts lead me.
Right. And what happened in Florida in 2000?
We had a butterfly ballot that no one could figure out.
Right, but Al Gore won. He had more votes.
Well, we don't know because we stopped counting the votes.
Well,
because the Supreme Court ordered them to stop counting the votes. What we had was an election that was within the margin of error that triggered an automatic recount, and then everybody went to court. Al Gore went to the right court. He went to the state court. The state court said keep counting. They didn't like the result on the other side, and so the Bush people went to the Supreme Court knowing that Daddy had appointed some of those guys and that they would say stop counting votes, and that's what happened. Subsequently, 10 newspapers attempted a recount after the election was certified and found that Al Gore had won by 535 votes. That's what happened in 2000.
All right. Well, it was Antonin Scalia on Saturday, December 12th, 2000, that halted the recount.
That's what I'm saying. They told him to stop counting the votes.
But it wasn't the Supreme Court. It was Antonin Scalia.
Well, where do you think Antonin worked?
Right, but it wasn't, 5-4.
Yes, it was 5-4. Yes, it was. Yes, it has to be. The Supreme Court does not speak as a court of one ever.
Well, he was the one that halted the counting on the Saturday morning.
No, he wrote the opinion, and 5 justices agreed and 4 dissented.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Bill in Columbus, Ohio.
And Antonin Scalia was the Chief Justice at the time as well.
Antonin. No, I thought... Was he the... No.
Wasn't he?
No.
All right, if he wasn't, I'm sorry.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He just wrote the opinion.
He just wrote the opinion.
Yeah.
But I was at my local watering hole today, and there was a woman next to me who... The Trump email scandal came up on the Clinton email scandal came up on the television screen. And she's sitting there in defense of Trump, and I'm sitting there, and I look to her, and I go, really? How in good conscience can you do that? And she gave me a reason, and I'm sitting there, and I'm still dumbfounded.
Oh, what was her reason?
Her reason was Clinton's a crook.
Well, it is amazing. If Clinton is a crook, then in the entire Congress, the entire U.S. Congress, which is Republican, who never moved against her, even though she was a sitting senator, a first lady of the United States, a secretary of state, where they had jurisdiction to impeach her, remove her, investigate her, whatever. I mean, like 9 Benghazi hearings they had. They found nothing. So they suck at their jobs, don't they?
Yes, they do. And the thing that dumbfounds me is, I mean, not that it's a woman running for president, but it's a woman in good conscience voting against her own self-best interest.
Oh, that girl at the bar. Well, she's at the bar.
Well, hey, she hadn't had a drink yet, Brandy.
Why
she
are
had
you
walked in right next to me, and the thing came up on the television screen. She hadn't ordered a drink yet, so
Bill?
she was dead sober, at least to my knowledge.
Bill, why were you in the bar?
Because I got off at 11:30 today, and it was time to go have a drink.
Oh,
it
I
was
see,
1
I see.
o'clock.
Oh, so you're a shift worker. Okay, I get it. I get it. I was just worried about your good health. That's all.
No.
All right. Okay.
No.
That's fine. No, I mean, listen, when you repeat a lie often enough, which is what Donald Trump has done, 30,000 emails deleted. Those were personal emails. Personal.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I don't really think anybody has a right to anybody's personal email. I just don't. So.
Well, see, here in my question lies. I've been listening to you for over 12 years, and your homework has been the best example of learning that I've had since I was in school. Having a teacher explain, look, this is where you need to go. This is what you can do.
Right.
Read a newspaper.
Look it up for yourself is basically
look it up
my
for
message.
yourself. You don't say believe me. You say look it up for yourself.
Always.
And Randy, God bless you. Thank you for coming back. People, buy a stinking podcast.
Thank you.
And listen to this woman. Randy, have a great weekend.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
your
Bill.
beer after you get off.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thanks, Bill. I was worried about Bill. Why are they in a bar in Columbus, Ohio at 11:30 in the morning? Okay, well, now we know. They're shift workers. That's completely legit. Absolutely legit. But, I mean, he keeps repeating. She's crooked. She's a crook. She's this, she's that, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he's got to go to court on November 20th. Just so you know, Donald's upcoming court dates. Okay, make a note of it. November 20th, Donald Trump goes to court for the Trump University fraud case. That's Judge Curiel, for everybody that doesn't remember him insulting the entire justice system, because Judge Curiel, a federal judge, looking at a fraud and RICO case against Donald Trump, can't sit because his parents came from Mexico years ago, even though this man was born and raised in Indiana. Okay, so we know he hates that. But November 20th begins that trial, and it's a fraud and RICO case against Trump for Trump University. And then December 16th, there's a status hearing. There's a status hearing in New York for the case that Jane Doe filed against Donald Trump, alleging rape, that he raped her when she was 13 years old. These are Donald Trump's court dates. Hillary's already been, in Congress, Benghazi, 19 times.
For a commercial-free, on-demand, whenever, wherever listening experience, visit RandiRhodes.com for your personal premium podcast today.
Try and get up every morning, day after day, and work for a living. Let's see him try that. Then we'll see who's the real tough guy. The working man is the tough guy.
With me, Joe Wilson, a wealth management advisor with a big money management house.
More money, yo money, Joe money.
I get an opportunity to help people turn their money into memories.
We're happy to get the kind of money that jingles, but we'd rather get the kind that folds.
Not your grandpa's financial show. This is your money guy, Joe Wilson, on Progressive Voices Network.
What's going on, my money mavens and moolah misfits? It's me, your money guy, Joe Wilson of the Joe Knows Money Show, reporting live on Progressive Voices Network, delivering you 3 minutes of money news you can use. Trending this week in money news, college costs could total as much as $334,000 in 2 years. The national average of attending a 4-year public college is over $28,000 per year, and the average cost of attending a 4-year private college is now over $59,000. That leads me to my next story. A new program called AmericanHonors.org is a nationally recognized honors program that allows you the opportunity to save 30 to 40% on your bachelor's degree by spending your first 2 years at a leading community college before transferring to your dream school. AmericanHonors.org Change.org takes it a step further by guaranteeing your admission to big-name schools like Auburn, the University of Arizona, and George Mason if you do the required coursework and maintain your grade point average. Now it's time for Joe's Money Trap of the Day. Stay away from for-profit private colleges. Investigations by the federal government, media, and state attorney generals have revealed countless instances of unscrupulous for-profit colleges that engage in deceptive, aggressive, and manipulative tactics to enroll as many students as possible without regard of their potential for success or ability to afford tuition in an effort to maximize profits. Not surprisingly, the overwhelming amount of student loan defaults are at private for-profit technical schools. Here's the key rule to remember when you're borrowing for any kind of education. Your loan obligation should not exceed your expected first-year salary. Here's Joe's Money Grab of the Day. Americans are moving to Europe for free college degrees. All public colleges in Germany, Iceland, Norway, and Finland are free for residents and international students. And some private schools in the European Union don't charge for tuition either. Many are going out of their way to attract foreigners by offering programs taught entirely in English. And the bonus money grab of the day is that very highly selective universities with big endowments have also acted in the last several years to make tuition free for students with families with certain incomes. MIT is free for families that earn $75,000 or less. Harvard and Yale, $65,000 or less. And Columbia, Cornell, Stanford, Duke, Brown, and Texas A&M, $60,000 or less. And now it's time for Joe's 15 cents. Education is the best provision for life's journey. That is a quote by Aristotle, and I agree wholeheartedly. But life is a long journey, so please make sure you're not saddled with a lot of student loan debt, and look into some of the options that we discussed today for free college education. You are listening to the Joe Knows Money Show on Progressive Voices Network. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Joe Knows Money and on Twitter at Joe Knows Money.
The Randi Rhodes Show is brought to you by our partners at ITM Trading. Call them at 1-888-OWN-GOLD and ask for a free gold kit. 1-888-OWN-GOLD.
All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
Okay, so Clinton leads Trump 42-36. And the chairman of the presidential campaign just said that he's confident that the FBI would again recommend against pressing charges. Quote, the FBI director owes it to the American people to immediately provide the full details of what he is now examining. We are confident this will not produce any conclusions different from the one the FBI reached in July. That's Mr. Podesta. You know, I got to agree with that. I just can't figure out why he would do this, why James Comey sent this letter to Congress 11 days before the last day to vote, when 10 million people have already voted. He owes an explanation to the American people. This is a very important time in our lives. This is a very important time in our kids' lives. It's a very important time in our grandchildren's lives. Not that I have any. I am not ready to be a grandmother, Jessica. And, but we need more than this cryptic 3-paragraph letter that does not say he's opening up a new investigation into Hillary. He says that he's gotten new devices. Well, he doesn't even say that. What we found out today was that he has devices he didn't have before. One of the devices is Anthony Weiner's sexting phone. The other device belongs to Huma Abedin. I don't know if these are, laptops or hard drives or phones or what the devices are. They're only being referred to as devices. And in those devices, he found some information that he thinks his investigators need to, continue to investigate regarding classified emails. None of which Hillary received or sent. Period. End of story. But he needs to clarify that immediately. Immediately. Richard in Southern California.
Hi, I'm just calling to point out that there are quite a few gays voting for Trump because Hillary accepted $25 million for her foundation. Okay, what they don't realize is that...
Wait. There are gays voting because Hillary accepted $25 million of donations.
And donations. Okay, so
to her campaign?
No, to her foundation.
To her foundation, which doesn't pay her anything. Neither does Bill make money from that.
Right.
Okay, so the money goes to charity. Yeah.
To her foundation. So she took $25 million.
She didn't take anything. The foundation accepts donations from the globe in order to do work around the globe. She
Right.
didn't take anything. And neither
Okay.
did Bill. They don't get paid for their work at the foundation.
Okay, so that's $25 million less in their economy, right?
What?
But they seem
That's
to forget
$25 million less in our economy?
in their economy,
Whose economy?
in the Arab countries.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they're very concerned about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point out they seem to forget that Trump has 2 golf courses over there, which keeps their economy going.
I don't
And
know
they
that it
pick up
keeps
the fact-
their economy going, but that money from his golf courses goes into his pocket. So he has a direct connection. Pocketing
Hillary
money.
doesn't have it.
No,
Right.
the foundation, I think it's 95, go to Charity Watch, 95% of all the donations go to the work that the foundation does, as opposed to Donald Trump's foundation, which goes to pay Donald Trump's legal bills.
Right.
And the money that he's getting from his golf club in Dubai, I think that's what you're referring to, goes to Donald Trump personally. There's a huge difference between a foundation, a public foundation like St. Jude's. Nobody gets enriched. Marlo Thomas does not enrich herself off of the donations that go to St. Jude's Hospital, which is one of my all-time favorite charities. That and Habitat for Humanity. And I like to give a heifer. I'd like to give a heifer around Christmas time. But honestly, here's a little clip about what the Donald Trump's foundation does with its money.
Well, the 2 biggest ones we looked at were, first of all, a case from Trump's club Mar-a-Lago down in Florida. A few years ago, they put up a giant flagpole that was too big for the town's ordinances. The town started fining them. Eventually, Trump got to $120,000 of fines pending against his club. He settles that case with the town, and the town says, okay, we'll waive the fines, waive this $120,000 worth of fines, but in return, Trump's club has to make a $100,000 donation to a specific veterans charity. And in that case, the club actually didn't give any money to that charity. Instead, Trump used the Donald J. Trump Foundation, a separate entity, a charity, full of other people's money. He used that foundation to make the donation. Similarly, in another case, somebody sued one of Trump's golf clubs, and when that suit settled, the golf club agreed to pay $158,000 to this person's charity. Instead, the golf club didn't pay, the charity paid. And what's problematic there is Trump is using...
right? The Trump Foundation paid.
Trump Foundation, that's right. What's problematic there, as you said, is that if you're the manager of a charity, as Trump is with the Trump Foundation, you can't use the money in the charity to pay for things that you or your businesses ought to pay for. And that seems like what's happened here.
Yes, it's a law. It's called self-dealing, and you're not allowed to do that. And Donald Trump does that all the time. He gets legal fines, or he gets, he settles a case. And in the settlement, his business agrees to make a charitable contribution to the veterans. Okay, and instead of making the charitable contribution to the veterans from his personal funds, he makes the donation to the veterans from his charity. And that's illegal. You can't use a charity to pay legal bills, which is what Donald Trump does repeatedly with the Trump Foundation, which has about $1 million on hand. None of it is his. He hasn't put anything into his own foundation since the 80s. And yet he pays his legal bills with his charity. So you want to talk about foundations? Fine. Rhonda in Erie. Oh, hi, Rhonda.
Hey, happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
I don't know what's going on with Comey. I think that
very weird.
Whatever it does seem strange, and I think what's going to happen is it's going to make him look bad. Because of the timing of it, because I'm with you. I kind of don't think that they're really going to find anything, especially anything that connects directly to Hillary. Not from what I've seen. I haven't seen much, but not from what I've seen. And so it's going to wind up making it look like it was some sort of political move on his part, which is also not good.
It's not good, even if, and this crossed my mind too, and I'll share this with you and only you because you're smart enough to understand what I'm saying. But it crossed my mind that he was setting a trap for Trump. But even that would be wrong. He's the director of the FBI. Mm-hmm. He can't play politics either way. But it could be that he's, I mean, it does seem like a Trump trap to me, where Trump walked right into it 10 minutes after this broke on everybody's device. He got up and called her crooked and a criminal like he always does. I mean, it could be just setting and then come Monday afternoon, Comey will have a press conference and say, this has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. She neither sent or received. What we were talking about was Anthony Weiner, whether or not Anthony Weiner had classified information that he was sending. It had nothing to do,
And when I heard that part of it, I went, oh, which is what just about everybody else who has any sense about this is thinking, oh, okay, well, I kind of understand that. So, it just looks weird. Anybody who's going to vote for Hillary is not going to be swayed by this anyway. We are just trying to get there. We are just trying to get to Election Day so we can cast our vote and go on about our business.
I know. But this was a great October surprise, I have to say. I mean, usually you don't really get one. That's the thing, Every October, all people like me and, you pay attention. We're all like, oh, where's the October surprise? And there usually isn't one. That's the dirty little secret. But this was a legitimate October surprise. I'm surprised.
Well, and of course, that Hillary was out there messing with the brakes on Mike Pence's plane.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, is that a thing too now?
Yes, that's a thing too now. I made a joke about it last night after I saw it, and I wake up this morning, and yes, there are people who are actually saying that it was her. And
yeah,
but
all right. So I got one for them. Donald Trump turned off Hillary's Wi-Fi today on her plane.
Donald Trump's not smart enough to do that.
Yeah, I do. That's right. It's only funny if it has a shred of truth to it. But
that's true.
Thanks, Rhonda. Have a great weekend.
You too. Buy a Thinking Podcast.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. And to everybody who did buy a podcast yesterday, thank you so much. We did a nice chunk of business yesterday, and we need it because it's almost the first of the month. Bills got to get paid. So go ahead, take the plunge. Go to RandiRhodes.com, click on podcasts, choose your subscription, and buy a Stinging Podcast. And we're going to run all our Friday shows. You can binge watch all weekend long to decide if this is right for you. Also, please watch on YouTube and remember to subscribe. And let's see if we can't get to 10,000. That gets us customer service, by the way. That's why. Have a great weekend.